A Christmas Carol by James Russell Lowell. What means this glory round our feet? Margie mused, more bright than morn, and voices chanted clear and sweet, today the Prince of Peace is born. What means that star, the shepherd said, that brightens through the rocky glen, and angels answering overhead sing, peace on earth, good will to men. 'Tis 1800 years and more since those sweet oracles were dumb. We wait for him like them of yore, alas, he seems so slow to come. But it was said in words of gold, no time or sorrow shall dim, that little children might be bold in perfect trust to come to him. All round about our feet shall shine a light like that the wise men saw, if we our loving wills incline to that sweet life which is the law. So shall we learn to understand the simple faith of shepherds when, and clasping kindly hand in hand, sing, peace on earth, good will to men. But they who do their souls no wrong, but keep at eve the faith of morn, shall daily hear the angel's song, today the Prince of Peace is born. A Feeling by James Russell Lowell. The flowers in the grass to me are eloquent reproachfully, for would they wave so pleasantly, or look so fresh and fair, if a man cunning, hollow, mean, or one in any wise unclean, were looking on them where? Now ye have grown so foolish wise, ye cannot see with childhood's eyes, ye are forget that purity and lowliness, which are the key of nature's mysteries. Now ye have wandered off so long from his own place of birth, that he hath lost his mother tongue, and like one come from far off lands, forgetting and forgot, he stands beside his mother's heart. A Prayer by James Russell Lowell. God, do not let my loved one die, but rather wait until the time when I am grown in purity enough to enter thy pure clime, and take me, I will gladly go, so that my love remain below. Or let us stay, she's by birth, what I through death must learn to be. We need her more on our poor earth, that all canst need in heaven with thee. She hath her wings already, I must burst this earth shall her fly. When God take me, we shall be near, more near than ever each to each. Angel ears will find more clear, more heavenly than my earthly speech. And still as I draw nigh to thee, my soul and mind shall closer be. Anne by James Russell Lowell. There's a pensiveness in quiet Anne, a mournful dropping of a full grey eye, as if she had shook hands with misery, and known some care since her short life began. Her cheek is seriously pale, nigh wan, and though of cheerfulness wears no leg, you feel as if she must be dressed in black. Yet is she not of those who all they can strive to be gay, and striving seem most sad. Hers is not grief, but silent soberness. You would be startled if you saw her glad, and startled if you saw her weep, no less. She walks through life, as on the Sabbath day, she decors who glides to church to pray. Beatrice by James Russell Lowell. How was so worthy, so divine a loss, deepening in my midnights, kindling all my morns? I waste such precious wood to make my cross, such far-sought roses for my crown of thorns. And when she came, earned I such a gift, or spent on me, a poor earth-delving mole, the fireside sweetnesses, the heavenward lift, the holy mercy of a woman's soul. I did we know to give her all her right, or the wonders even in our poor clay were done. It is not woman leaves us to our night, it is our earthward grovels from her sun. Our nobler cultured fields and gracious domes we whirl too oft from her who still shines on to light in vain our caves and clefts, the homes of nightbird instincts pained till she be gone. Still must this body starve our souls with shade, but when death makes us what we were before, then shall the sunshine all our depths invade, and not a shadow stain heaven's crystal floor. Caroline by James Russell Lowell. A steadiness sobers o'er her pretty face, a something but ill hidden in her eyes, and a quaint look about her lips denies. A lingering laugh of girlhood you can trace, in a cheeked laugh not half restrained pace. And when she bears herself most womanly, it seems as if a watchful mother's eye kept down with sobering glance a childish grace. Yet oftentimes her nature gushes free, as water long held back by little hands. Within the pump and let forth suddenly, till at last remembering she stands a moment silent, smiling doubtfully, then laughs aloud and scorns her hated bands. Disappointment by James Russell Lowell. I pray thee call not this society, ask for bread, or gives me a stone. I am an-hungered, and I find not one. I give thee meat to draw a grief with me. I find not here what I went out to see, souls of true men, of woman who can move the deeper, better part of us to love, souls that can hold with mine communion free. Thus must from these hopes, these longings sigh, this yearning of the soul for brotherhood, and all that makes us pure and wise and good, come broken-hearted home again to die. No hope is left, and praise with bended head, give us this day, O God, our daily bread. Forgetfulness, by James Russell Lowell. There's a haven of sure rest from the loud world's bewildering stress, as a bird dreaming on a nest, as dew hid in a rose breast, as hesper in the glowing west, so the heart sleeps in thy calm deeps, serene forgetfulness. Nor so in the place may be the noise of life grows less and less, as moss far down within the sea, as in white lilies caves the bee, as life in a hazy reverie, so the heart's wave in the dim cave hushes forgetfulness. Duty and care fade far away, what toil may be we cannot guess, as a ship anchored in the bay, as a cloud at summer noon astray, as winter blooms in a breezeless day, so 'neath thine eyes the full heart lies and dreams forgetfulness. 4th of July Ode, by James Russell Lowell. Our fathers fought for liberty, we struggled long and well. History of their deeds can tell, but did they leave us free? Are we free from vanity, free from pride, and free from self, free from love of power and pelf, from everything that's beggarly? Are we free from stubborn will, from low hate and malice small, from opinions turned fell, and none of us our own slaves still? Are we free to speak our thought, to be happy and be poor, free to enter heaven's door, to live and labor as we ought? Have we been made free at last, from the fear of what men say, free to reverence today, free from the slavery of our past? Our fathers fought for liberty, we struggled long and well. History of our deeds can tell, but ourselves must set us free. Gloria Mundi, by James Russell Lowell. Red gold of parting sunset, backward thrown, and largeness on my tall paternal trees, wove the elusive care didst never tease for heart that hoards thee. Childhood is not flown from him whose life no fair boon hath known, and that what pleased him earliest still would please. Nor their income safe from fate as these, so when scant, so for life our own. All grosser gold is slave to earthly laws, but this the thing's immortal claims its right, as on the topmost leaves it seems to pause in tremulous passion heard yield tonight. So linger when the light of earth withdraws, radiance of heart, pathetically bright. Happiness, by James Russell Lowell. Wing-footed, thou bites the thumb that ask it not, but he who hath watched over waves the fading path, will never more on ocean's rim at morn or eve behold returning the high-heaped canvas shoreward yearning. Thou only teachest us the core and inmost meaning of no more. Thou who first show'st us thy face, to an hour of a shoulder's parting grace, and whose sad footprints we can trace away from every mortal door. Hunger and Cold, by James Russell Lowell. Sisters too, all praise to you, your face pinched and blue, for the poor man you've been true from of old. You can speak the nearest word, you're sure of being heard, from the point you never stirred, hunger and cold. Let sleek statesmen temporize, palsied arbor shifts and lies, and remeet your bloodshot eyes, grim and bold. Policy you set at naught, at ships you'll not be caught, you do honors to be bought, hunger and cold. Boat and bar the palace door, the mass of men are poor, naked truth grows more and more uncontrolled. You had never yet, I guess, any praise for bashfulness, convinced sense courtress hunger and cold. Though the music fell and rose, and dance reeled to its close, where her own of costly woes fashion strolled, and beheld with shuddering fear, wolf's eyes through the windows peer. Little dream they you are near, hunger and cold. And a toiler's heart you clutch, conscious is not valued much, he recks not a bloody smudge of his gold. Everything do you fears, your pretend reasoners, and your whispered reason stirs hunger and cold. Rude comparison you draw, words refuse to say your mirth, your gaunt limbs the cop with law cannot hold. You not clock the foolish pride, but can seize the right denied. Summer God is on your side, hunger and cold. You respect holy wrong, more for having triumphed long, its past victims haggard throng from the mold. Your unburied swords and spears, weaker than poor man's tears, weaker than your silent years, hunger and cold. And on guard of hall and bower, the window you will glower, patient till your reckoning hour shall be told. Cheeks are pale, but hands are red, guiltless blood may chains be shed, but ye must and will be fed, hunger and cold. God's plans men must not spoil, some were made to starve and toil, some to spare the wine and oil, we are told. David's fears of these, stifling hope and love and peace, framed your hideous lusts to please hunger and cold. Scatter ashes on the head, tears of burning soul shed, earth and thee by pity led to love's fold. Ever block the very door, fleeing corpses of the poor, ever hush for naught but gore, hunger and cold. In absence, but James Russell Lowell, these dark wintry days as scarce could bear, did I not know that in the early spring, when the wild March winds upon the air and sing, odes return, bursting on the still air, like roasting winds when startled from the lair, they hunt the violets, and freeze swift brooks from icy cares, even as the clear looks bid my heart bloom and sing and break all care. When drops of welcome rain the winter day, the flowers shall find their April in thine eyes, save there the rain and dreamy clouds doth stay, as love to fall out of those happy skies. Yet sure, my love, thou art most like the May, that comes with steady sun when April dies. Isabel, by James Russell Lowell. As the leaf upon the tree, fluttering, gleaming constantly, such a lightsome thing was she, my gay and gentle Isabel. Heart was fed with love spring sweet, and in her face you'd see it beat, to hear the sound of welcome feet, and were not mine so, Isabel? She knew it not, but she was fair, and like a moonbeam was her hair, that falls where flowing ripples are in summer evenings, Isabel. Her heart and tongue were sacred apart, unwittingly her lips would part, and love came gushing from her heart, the woman's heart of Isabel. So pure her flesh garb, and like dew, that in her features glimmering through each working of a spirit true, and wondrous beauty, Isabel. A sunbeam struggling through thick leaves, a reaper's song mid yellow sheaves, as gladsome were, my spirit grieves to think of thee, my Isabel. I know not when I loved thee first, not loving, I had been accursed, yet having loved, my heart will burst, longing for thee, dear Isabel. As silent tears my cheeks are wet, I would be calm, I would forget, and thy blue eyes gaze on me yet, with stars of horizon, Isabel. The winds mourn for thee, Isabel, the flowers accept thee in the dell, the gentle spirit laughed and will, and I for thy sake, Isabel. The sunset seems less lovely now, and when, leaf checkered on thy brow, we fell as lovingly as foe, lingers till moonrise, Isabel. At dead of night I seem to see thy fair, pale features constantly upturned in silver prayer for me, or moveless clasped hands, Isabel. I call thee, thou dost not reply, the stars came coldly in thine eye, as like a dream thou flittest by, and leavest me weeping, Isabel. Longing, by James Russell Lowell. Of all thy myriad moods of mind, through the soul come thronging, which one was ill so dear, so kind, so beautiful as longing? A thing we long for, where we are, for one transcendent moment, before the present poor and bare can make its near command. Till for upon we stern strive, goes down the wished ideal, and longing modes and clay what life carves on the marble reel. So let the new life in, we know desire must out the portal. Perhaps a longing to be so, helps make the soul immortal. Longing is God's fresh heavenward will of our poor earthward striving, and quench it, that we may be still, content with merrily living. Although you learn that hearts will scope, which we are hourly wronging, our lives must climb from hope to hope and realize our longing. And let us hope that to our praise, good God not only reckons the moment when the treat is waste, and the spirit beckons that some slight good is also wrought beyond self-satisfaction, and we are simply good in thought while we fail in action. Love's Song, by James Russell Lowell. Near to the mother heart, simple nature, press me. Let me know thee as thou art, to my soul and bless me. I have loved thee long and well, I have loved thee heartily. Shall I never with thee dwell, never be at one with thee? Inward to the heart, kindly nature take me, lovely even as thou art, full of loving make me. For knows naught of dead cold forms, knows naught of littleness, life for truth, why being warms, majesty and earnestness. Homeward to thy heart, dearest nature call me, let no halfness, no mean part, any longer thrill me. I will be the lover true, I will be a faithful soul, encircle me, then look me through, fill me with a mighty whole. Mary, by James Russell Lowell. Dark hair, dark eyes, not too dark to be deep and full of feeling, yet enough to glow with fire when angered. Feelings never slow, and which seem rather watching to flee from a full breast. A gentle flowing sweep of words and common talk, a torrent rush whenever through a soul such feelings gush, a heartless ready to be gave and weep, yet cheerful ever, a calm matron smile that bids God bless you, a chaste simpleness, with somewhat too of proper pride and dress, was ported to my mind's eye came, the while I thought of we, the well-grown woman Mary, whom a gold-haired, laughing little fairy. Midnight, by James Russell Lowell. The moon shines wide and silent on the mist, which like a tide of some enchanted ocean, a wide marsh doth glide, spreading its ghost-like billows silently far and wide. A vacant stare magic makes all things mysterious, and lures the earth's dumb spirit up to the longing skies. I seem to hear them whispers and tremulous replies. The fireflies of the meadow and pulses came and go. The elm tree's heavy shadow weighs on the grass below, and faintly from the distance the dreaming crow. All things look strange and mystic, the very bushes swell, and take wild shapes and motions, as of bent of a spell, or seem not the same lilacs from childhood known so well. The snow of deepest silence o'er everything do fall, so beautiful and quiet, and yet so like a pall, as if for life were ended, and rest were come to all. A wild and wondrous midnight, there is a might and reed to make the charmed body almost like spirit be, and give it to some faint glimpses of immortality. Monna Lisa, by James Russell Lowell. She gave me all that woman can, nor a soul's nunnery forego, a confidence that man to man without remorse can never show. Rare art that can sense refine, till not a pulse rebellious stirs, and the sin she never can be mine, makes it seem sweeter to be hers. My love, by James Russell Lowell. Not as all other women are, is she that to my soul is dear. Glorious fancies come from far, bend the silver evening star, yet your heart is ever near. Great feelings hath she of her own, which lesser souls may never know. God giveth them to her alone, and sweet they are as any tone, whither the wind may choose to blow. Yet in herself she dwelleth not, or in a humble house so fair. No simple's duty is forgot, life hath no dim and lowly spot, that doth not in the sunshine share. She doeth little kindness, which most leave undone, or despise. For naught but sets one heart at ease, and giveth happiness or peace, as low esteemed in her eyes. She hath no scorn of common things, and though she seems of other birth, around us heart and winds and clings, and patiently she folds her wings to treat the humble paths of earth. Blessing she is, God made her so, and deeds of weekday holiness fall from her noiseless as the snow. Nor hath she ever changed to know what aught were easier than to bless. She's most fair, and thereunto her life doth rightly harmonize. Feeling her fond but also true, and a maid less beautiful the blue unclouded heaven of her eyes. She is a woman, one in whom the springtime of her childish years hath never lost its fresh perfume, though knowing well that life hath room for many blights and many tears. A laugh of a laugh is still, as broad rivers peaceful might, which by high tower and lowly mill was wandering at its own will, and yet doth ever flow right. And on its full deep breast sheen, like quiet isle my duties lie. It flows along them and between, and makes them fresh and fair and green, sweet home's vain to live and die. My Portrait Gallery, by James Russell Lowell. Oft round my hall of portraitres I gaze, by memory read, the artist wise and holy, from stainless quarries of deep buried days. There, as I muse in soothing melancholy, your faces glow in more than mortal youth, companions of my prime, now vanished wholly, the loud, impetuous boy, the low-voiced maiden. Never master that true mortal breath can match their portraits, just and generous death, whose brush with sweet, regretful tints is laden. For paint is that which struggled here below, half understood or understood for woe, and with a sweet forewarning makes round the sacred front an aureole glow, woven of that light that rose on Easter morning. No more but so, by James Russell Lowell. No more but so, only with uncouth looks, and with a hand not legger to clasp mine, thinkst thou to pay what debt of love is wine. No more but so, like gushing water brooks, freshening and making green the dimmest nooks of a friend's soul, for kindliness should flow. And if this boned by not saying no, find more friendship in my books, or lifeless fawn for bee, and more for more, may the simplest moss or flower or tree. Open to thy heart of heart's deep core, and never say that I am dear to thee. Call me not friend, if thou keep close the door that leads into thine inmost sympathy. On reading Spenser again, by James Russell Lowell. Dear gentle Spenser, for my soul does lead, a little child again, through fairyland, by many a bower and stream of golden sand. Many a sunny plain whose light doth breed is sunshine in my happy heart, and feed my fancy with sweet visions. I become a knight, for my charmed arms would roam to seek for fame in many wondrous deed of high emprise. For I have seen the light of Una's angel's face, with golden hair and backward eyes of startled Fulmer. And for the holy sake I would outdare a host of cruel nymphs in the fight I commit with all the powers of hell. Once to every man and nation, by James Russell Lowell. Once to every man and nation comes a moment to decide, in the strife of truth and falsehood, for the good or evil side. Some great cause, God's new Messiah, offering each the bloom or blight, and the choice goes by forever, twixt the darkness and the light. When to side with truth is noble, when we share her wretched crust, or her cause bring fame and profit, and 'tis prosperous to be just. Then it is the brave man chooses, while the coward stands aside, till the multitude makes virtue of a faith they had denied. Count me our earth's chosen heroes, they were souls that stood alone, stood serene, and down the future saw the golden beam incline, to the side of perfect justice, mastered by the faith divine, by one man's plain truth to manhood, and to God's supreme design. While the cause of evil prosper, yet his truth alone is strong, truth forever on the scaffold, wrong forever on the throne. Yet that scaffold sways the future, and behind the dim unknown standeth God within the shadow, keeping watch above his own. Amen. Reading by James Russell Lowell. As one who on some well-known landscape looks, be it alone or with some dear friend nigh, each day behold a fresh variety, new harmonies of hills and trees and brooks. So is it with the worthiest choice of books, and oftens read. With though no meaning spy, deem there's meaning wanting in thine eyes. We are so lured from judgment by the crooks and winding ways of covered fantasy, or turned unwittingly down beaten tracks for foregone conclusions, and we see in our own one writer's misdeemed legs. It is with true books as with nature, each new day of living doth new insight teach. Rose, by James Russell Lowell. My ever lightsome, ever laughing rose, always speakest first and thinkest last. As the voice is as clear as a bugle blast. Right from the ear down to the heart it goes, and says, I'm beautiful, as who but knows. Thy name reminds me of old romping days, of kisses stolen in dark passageways, on the parlor, if a mother knows, gave sign of drowsy watch, a wonder where, or gone by tokens, given with a glance full of everlasting love till morrow, or days endless grieving for the dance, last night denied, back with a lock of hair that spake of broken hearts and deadly sorrow. She came and went, by James Russell Lowell. As a twig trembles, which a bird lights on to sing, and leaves unbent, so is my memory thrilled and stirred, only know she came and went. As gladsome lake, by guests unriven, the blue dome's measureless content, so my soul held with moments heaven, only know she came and went. As it overbound, or swift spring's heaps, the orchards full of bloom and scent, so clothed for May my wintry sleeps, only know she came and went. An angel stood and met my gaze through the low doorway of my tent. The tent is struck the vision stays, only know she came and went. When the room grows slowly dim, and life's last oil is nearly spent, one gush of light these eyes will brim, only to think she came and went. Shipwreck, by James Russell Lowell. We who by shipwreck only find the shores of divine wisdom can but kneel at first, can but exult to feel beneath our feet that long stretched vainly down the yielding deeps, the shocking sustenance of solid earth. Inland afar we see what temples gleam through immemorial stems of sacred groves, and we conjecture shining shapes vain. Yet for a space 'tis good to wander here among the shells and seaweed of the beach. Something natural, by James Russell Lowell. And first I saw my soul leap eyes, my heart yearned to thee instantly. Strange longing in my soul that rise, I cannot tell the reason why. I must love thee till I die. The sight of thee hath well nigh grown, is needful to me as the light. I am unrestful when alone, my heart doth not beat aright, except it dwell within thy sight. And yet, O selfish love, I am not happy even with thee. I see thee in thy brightness move, and cannot well contented be, save thou shouldst shine alone for me. We should love beauty even as flowers, for all 'tis said they bud and blow, are the world's as well as ours. But woe, alas, God made thee grow so fair, I cannot love thee so. Stanzas on Freedom by James Russell Lowell. Men whose boast it is that ye come of fathers brave and free, if their breath on earth a slave, are ye truly free and brave? If you do not feel the chain, when it works a brother's pain, are you not base slaves indeed, slaves unworthy to be freed? Woman, who shall one day be as sons to breathe New England air, if ye hear, without a blush, deeds to make the roast blood rush, like red lava through your veins, for your sisters now in chains, answer, are ye fit to be mothers of the brave and free? Is true freedom but to break fetters for our own dear sake, and with leathern hearts forget what we owe mankind to debt? No, true freedom is to share all the chains our brothers were, and with heart and hand to be earnest to make others free. We are slaves to fear to speak for the fallen and the weak. We are slaves who will not choose hatred, scoffing, and abuse, rather than in silence shrink from the truth they needs must think. We are slaves who dare not to be in the right with two or three. The Beggar by James Russell Lowell. A beggar through the world am I, from place to place I wander by. Fill up my pilgrim's crib for me, for Christ's sweet sake and charity. A little of thy steadfastness, rounded with leaf gracefulness. Old oak, give me, that the words blast me round me blow, and they yield gentle to and fro, where my stout-hearted trunk below, and firm-set roots unshaken be. Some of thy stern, unyielding might, enduring still through day and night, through tempest shock and weather blight, that I may keep at bay the changeful April sky of change, and the strong tide of circumstance, give me, old granite grey, some of thy pensiveness serene, some of thy never-dying green, put in the script of mine, where griefs may fall like snowflakes light, and deck me in a robe of white, ready to be an angel bright of sweetly mournful pine. And little of thy merriment, of thy sparkling light content, give me my cheerful brook, that I may still be full of glee, and gladsomeness wherever I be, for fickle fate hath prisoned me in some neglected nook. Ye have been very kind and good to me since I've been in the wood. Ye have gone nigh to fill my heart, but goodbye, kind friends, every one. I far to go a set of sun. Of all good things I would have part, and it was higher I could start, so my journey scarce begun. Heaven help me, how could I forget to beg of thee, dear violet, some of thy modesty that blossoms here as well unseen, as if before a world of oats been, or give to strengthen me. The Fatherland by James Russell Lowell. Where's the true man's fatherland? Is it where he by chance is born, doth not the yearning spirit scorn such scant borders to be spent? Ah yes, his fatherland must be as the blue heaven wide and free. It is alone where freedom is, a God is God and man is man. Doth he not claim a broader span for the soul's love of home than wis? Oh yes, his fatherland must be as the blue heaven wide and free. Where a human heart doth whirl joy's myrtle worth or sorrow's griefs, where a human spirit strives after life more true and fair, there's the true man's birthplace ground, his is a world-wide fatherland. Where a single slave doth pine, a one man may help another, thank God for such a birthright brother, that spot of earth's wine and mine. Where's the true man's birthplace grant, he is a world-wide fatherland. The Finding of a Lyre by James Russell Lowell. There lay upon the ocean shore what once a tortoise served to cover. A year and more with rush and roar, the surf had rolled it over, had played with it and flung it by, as wind and weather might decide it, when tossed it high, where sand-drifts dry cheap burial might provide it. It rested there to bleach or tan, the rains had soaked, the sun had burnt it. With many a band of fishermen had stumbled o'er and spurned it, and there the fisher-girl would stay, conjecturing with her brother, how in their play the poor stray might serve some use or other. So there it lay, through wet and dry, as empty as the last new sonnet, till by and by came Mercury, and having mused upon it, "Why here," cried he, "the thing of things in shape, material, and dimension, give but strings and lo, it sings a wonderful invention." So said, so done. The chords he strained, and as his fingers o'er them hovered, the shell disdained his soul had gained, the lyre had been discovered. Our empty world wide round us lies, dead shell of soul and thought forsaken, brought us but eyes like Mercury's, and we what songs should waken. The First Snowfall by James Russell Lowell. The snow had begun in the gloaming, and busily all the night had been heaping field and highway with a silence deep and wide. Every pine and fire and hemlock wore ermine too dear for an earl, and the poorest twig on the elm tree was rigid inch deep with pearl. From sheds new roofed with Carrara came Chanticleer's muffled crow. The stiff rails softened to swan's down and still fluttered down the snow. I stood and watched by the window the noiseless work of the sky, and the sudden flurries of snowbirds like brown leaves whirling by. I thought of the mountain-sweet Auburn where a little headstone stood, how the flakes were folding it gently as did robins the babes in the wood. Up spoke our own little Mabel, saying, "Father who makes it snow," and I told of the good All-Father who cares for us here below. Again I looked at the snowfall and thought of the leaden sky that arched our first great sorrow when the mound was heaped so high. I remembered the gradual patience that fell from that cloud-like snow, flake by flake, healing and hiding the scar that renewed our woe. And again to the child I whispered, "The snow that hushed all, darling, the merciful Father alone can make it fall." Then, with eyes that saw not, I kissed her, and she, kissing back, could not know that my kiss was given to a sister, folded close under deepening snow. The Fountain by James Russell Lowell. Into the sunshine full of light, leaping and flashing from morn till night, into the moonlight with the snow waving so flower-like when the winds blow, into the starlight rushing in spray, happy at midnight, happy by day, ever in motion, blithesome and cheery, still climbing heavenward, never aweary, glad of all weather, still seeming best, upward or downward, motion by rest, full of a nature nothing can tame, changed every moment, ever the same, ceaseless aspiring, ceaseless content, darkness or sunshine by element. Glorious fountain, let my heart be fresh, changeful, constant, upward like we. The Landlord by James Russell Lowell. What boot your houses and your lands, in spite of close-drawn deed and fence, like water twixt your cheated hands, you slip into the graveyard sands, mock your ownership's pretense. Or should you speak to urge your right, choked with its soil for which you lust, the bit of clay, for whose delight you grasp its mortgages too, death might foreclose this very day in dust. Fence as you please, this plain poor man, whose only fields are in his wit, who shapes the world as best he can, according to God's higher plan, owns you on fences as is fit. For yours the rents, as income waxed, the right of eminent domain, the factory told the woodman's axe, all things on earth must pay their tax to feed his hungry heart and brain. He takes you from your easy chair, and what he plans, what you must do. You sleep and down, eat daintily fare, he mounts his crazy garrets, stare and stars, the landlord will you. Feeding the clods your idleness drains, you make more green 6 feet of soil, his fruitful word, like suns and rains, partakes the season's boundless pains, and toils the light and human toil. Your lands, the force of cunning God, shrinks to the measure of a grave, but death himself abridges not the tenures of almighty thought, the titles of the wise and brave. The Lost Child by James Russell Lowell. I wandered down the sunny glade, and ever mused my love of we. My thoughts like little children played, as gaily and as guilelessly. If any chanced to go astray, mourning in fear of coming harms, how brought the wanderer back alway, safe nestled in the snowy arms. From its soft nest the happy one looked up at me and calmly smiled. Its hair shone golden in the sun, and made it seem a heavenly child. Dear Hope's blue eyes smiled mildly down, and blessed it with a love so deep, that like a nursling of her own, it clasped my neck and fell asleep. The Lover by James Russell Lowell. Go from the world from east to west, search every land beneath the sky. You cannot find a man so blessed, a king so powerful as I, where you should seek eternally. For I a gentle lover be, sitting at my loved one's side. She giveth her whole soul to me, without a wish or thought of pride, and she shall be my cherished bride. No show of goddess hath she doth not flash with jewels rare. In beautiful simplicity she weareth leafy garlands fair, or modest flowers in her hair. Sometimes she dons a robe of green, sometimes a robe of snowy white, but in whatever garb she's seen, it seems most beautiful and right, and is the loveliest to my sight. But I a lover am alone, yet unto all she doth suffice, none jealous is, and every one reads love and truth within her eyes, and deemeth her his own dear prize. And so thou art, eternal nature, yes, bride of heaven, so thou art, thou wholly lovest every creature, giving to each no stinted part, but filling every peaceful heart. The Maple by James Russell Lowell. The maple puts her corals on in May, while loitering frosts about the lowlands cling, to be in tune with what the robins sing, plastering new long huts mid their branches grey. But when the autumn southward turns away, when in the veins spends most the blood of spring, and every leaf, intensely blossoming, makes the year's sunset pale the set of day. O youth unpresent, were it only so with trees you plant, and in whose shade reclined, thinking their drifting blooms fate's coldest snow, you carved your names upon the faithful rind, none that vernal stem the cross for now, that age may be silent yet unresigned. The Miner by James Russell Lowell. Down mid the tangled roots of things that coil about the central fire, I seek for that which giveth wings, to stop, not soar to my desire. Sometimes I hear, as 'twere a sigh, the sea's deep yearning for above. Thou hast the secret not, I cry, and deep her deeps it hid my love. They think I burr from the sun and darkness, all alone and weak, such loss were gain if he were won. For 'tis the sun's own sun I seek, the earth, they murmur, is the tomb that vainly sought his life to prison, who grovel longer in its gloom. He is not here, he hath arisen. More life for me, where he hath lain hidden, while ye believed him dead, when in cathedrals cold and vain, built on loose sands of it is said. My searches for the living gold, him I desire who dwells recluse, and not his image, worn and old, day servant of our sordid use. If him I find not, yet I find the ancient joy of Salem church, the glimpse, the surety undefied, the unconquered ardour of a search. Happy to chase a flying goal, when to sit counting laureled gains, to cast the soul within the soul, and to be lord of what remains. The Moon by James Russell Lowell. My soul was like the sea before the moon was made, moaning in vague immensity of its own strength afraid, unrestful and unstayed. For every rift that foamed in vain about its earthly prison, seeking some unknown thing in pain, and sinking restless back again. For yet no moon had arisen, its only voice a vast dumb moan of utterless anguish speaking. It lay unhopefully alone, and lived but in an aimless seeking. So was my soul. But when it was full of unrest or overloading, a voice of something beautiful whispered a dim foreboding, and yet so soft, so sweet, so low, it had not more of joy than woe. And as the sea doth oft lie still, making its waters meet, as if by an unconscious will of the moon's silver feet, so lay my soul within mine eyes, and woe its guardian moon didst rise. And now, however its waves above may toss and seem uneaseful, one strong eternal law of love, of guidance sure and peaceful, as calm and natural as breath, moves its great deeps through life and death. The Oak by James Russell Lowell. What canal it stretch, what depth of shade is his! There needs no crown to mark the forest's king. How in his leaves outshines full summer's bliss! Sun, storm, rain, dew, to him their tribute bring, which he with such benignant royalty accepts, as overpayeth what is lent. All nature seems his vessel, proud to be, and cunning only for his ornament. How towers he, too, and the billowed snows, an unquelled exhaust of a summer's throne, whose plain, unsingeted front more kingly shows, and wet the obscuring quarter leaves are flown. His bows make music of the winter air, jewelled with sleet, like some cathedral front, where clinching snowflakes of quaint art repair the dints and foes of time's envious brand. That though with patient strength the shrewd March wind persuades to seem glad breaths of summer breeze, and when the soil with fain would be unkind, to swell his revenues with fraud increase, he's the gem, while the landscape wide, set of his grandeur isolate the sense, seems but the setting worthless or beside an empty socket, where he fallen whence. As a form of converse with life's wintry gales, should man learn how to clasp with together roots the inspiring earth, otherwise surveils the leaf-creating set that sunward shoots. So every year that falls with a noiseless flake should fill out scars upon the starboard side, make all age revert for age's sake, and for traditions of youth's leafy pride. So from the pinched soil of a churlish fate, true hearts compel the sap of sturdier growth. So between earth and heaven stands simple great, and we shall seem but their attendants both. For nature's forces for obedient seal wait on the rooted fate and open will, as quickly the pretenders cheat the field, and turn mad pucks to float and mock 'em still. Not all my works are lessons, each contains some emblem of man's all-contending soul. Surely make fruitless of their glorious pains, the living within their grace an eyeless mole. Make me the least of I didn't groove, cause me some message of a truth to bring, speak but a word through me, nor let my love among my boss disdain to purge and sing. The Search by James Russell Lowell. I went to seek for Christ, and nature seemed so fair, and first the woods and fields my youth inside, and I was sure to find him there. A temple I forsook, with solitude allegiance paid, but winter came and shocked the crown and purple from my wood. It snows like desert sands with scornful drift, besieged the column, ale, and palace gate. Thebes, cut deep with many a solemn rift, when it heft her own sepulchred state. When I remembered whom I went to seek, blessed blind winter for his counsel bleak. Back to the world I turned, for Christ, I said is king. So the cramped alley and the hut I spurned, as for benefice misjoning, mid poor and wealth I sought, but found no trace of him, and all the costly offerings I had brought, with sudden rust and mould grew dim. I found his tomb, indeed, whereby the laws all must on stated days themselves imprison, mockling with bread a dead greed's grinning jaws. Witless along the life that whence arisen, due sacrifice to which they set apart, prizing it more than Christ's own living heart. So from my feet the dust of the proud world I shook, when King the love and shared with me his crust, and of my soul's burden took, of the world's soft bed, its rich and dainty fare, like down seemed love's cause pillar to my head, his chief foot seemed as manna rare. Fresh-trodden prince of bare and bleeding feet turned to the heedless city whence I came, hard by saw, and springs of worship sweet gushed from my cleft heart, smitten by the same. Love looked me in the face and spake no words, but straight I knew those footprints were the Lord's. I followed where they led, and I hovered rude, with naught offence, the weather from his head. The king I sought for meekly stood, a naked, hungry child, clung round his gracious knee, and the poor hunted slave looked up and smiled, doubtless the smile that set him free. New miracles I saw his presence do, no more I knew how the bare and poor, like what chips into wood by grew, the broken morsel swelled to goodly store. I knelt and wept, my Christ no more I seek, his thrones with the outcast and the weak. The Street, by James Russell Lowell. They pass me by like shadows, crowds on crowds, then ghosts of men will hover to and fro, hugging their bodies round them like thine shrouds, wherein their souls were buried long ago. I trampled on their youth, in faith and love they cast the hope of humankind away. Of heaven's clear messages they madly strove and conquered, and their spirits turned to clay. How they wander round the world, where grave was ever gaping more by such as fed, gibbering at living man and idle rave. We only truly live, but ye are dead. Alas, poor souls, the anointed eye may trace the dead soul's epitaph on every face. The Token, by James Russell Lowell. It is a mere wild rosebud, quiet, hollow and dry, and there's something wondrous in it, some gleams of days gone by. Dear sights and sounds that are to me the moons of memory, and stir my heart's blood far below, at short-lived waves of joy and woe. Lips must fade and roses wither, all sweet times be o'er. We only smile, murmuring thither, stay with us no more. And yet oftentimes a look or smile, forgotten in a kiss, while years after from the dark will start, and flash across a trembling heart. Thou hast given me many roses, but never one like this, our floods of sense and spirit with such a deep white bliss. We must have instincts that clean up sparse drops of his life in the cup, whose taste shall give us all that we can prove of immortality. Earth's devil's things are shadows, and in the life to come hardly some change save trifle may tell of this old home, as now sometimes we seem to find in the dark recess of the mind some relic which long pondered o'er, hence faintly yet alive before. The Unlovely, by James Russell Lowell. The pretty things that others were look strange and out of place in me. I never seem dressed tastefully, because I am not fair. And when I would most pleasing seem, and deck myself with joyful care, I find it is an idle dream, because I am not fair. If I put roses in my hair, they bloom as if in mockery. Nature denies her sympathy, because I am not fair. Alas, I have a warm true heart, and I shout people's star. I must forever dwell apart, because I am not fair. I am least happy being where the hearts of others are most light, and strive to keep me out of sight, because I am not fair. The glad ones often give a glance, as I am sitting alone there, and ask me why I do not dance, because I am not fair. And if to smile on them I dare, though that my heart with love runs over, they say, what is she laughing for, because I am not fair. Love scorned and misinterpreted, it is the hardest thing to bear. I often wish that I were dead, because I am not fair. And joy or grief I must not share, for neither smiles nor tears on me, and never look becomingly, because I am not fair. All days I sit alone and cry, and in my grave I wish I were, yet none will weep me if I die, because I am not fair. A grateful beast alone and bare, I fear to think of those dark hours, for none will plant it over flowers, because I am not fair. Will not in the summer come and speak kind words above me where to me the grave will be no home, because I am not fair. The Washington Elm by James Russell Lowell. Beneath our consecrated elm, a century ago he stood, saying vaguely for that outfight in the wood, whose red surge sought, but could not overwhelm. The life foredoomed to wield a rough-hewn helm. Firmly erect, it towered above them all, the incarnate discipline it was to free, with iron curb that armed democracy. To Charles Eliot Norton by James Russell Lowell. The wind is roistering out of doors, my window shakes and my chimney roars. My elmwood chimneys seem crooning to me, as of old in the moody minor key, and out of the past the horse's wind blows, as I sit in my armchair and toast my toes. Ho, ho, 90 and 40, we seem to sing, we saw you, little toddling thing, we knew you child and you for man, a wonderful fellow to dream and plan, a great thing always to come, who knows? Well, 'tis some comfort to toast one's toes. How many times have you said the case till the mouldering fire forgot to blaze, shabby among the whimsical cowards' faces and figures in shining golds? What matters the ashes that covers those, while hickory lasts you can toast your toes? Our dream shipbuilder, where are we all? Your grand three-decker, steep, chested and tall, it should crush the waves under canvas piles, and anchor at last by the Fortune Isles. There's grey in your beard, the years turn foes, while you must in your armchair and toast your toes. I sit and dream that I hear, as of yore, my elmwood chimney's deep-throated roar. If much be gone, there's much remains, but the embers of loss I count my gains. You and yours with the best, till the old hope glows in the fanciful flame as I toast my toes. Instead of a fleet of broad-bowed ships, to send a child's armada of ships. Instead of a great guns, tire on tire, afraid of pebbles and grass-blades serene. Well, maybe more love of the less gift goes, I growl, as half moody, I toast my toes. To Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, by James Russell Lowell. I need not praise the sweetness of his song, where limpid verse to limpid verse succeeds. Smooth as our child's, when fearing lest he wrong, the new moon's mirrored skiff he slides along, full without noise and whispers in his reeds. With loving breath of all the winds his name is blown about the world, but to his friends a sweeter secret hides behind his fame, and love steals shyly through the loud acclaim, to murmur a God bless you, advance. As I muse backward up the checkered years, when so much was given, so much was lost, blessings in both kinds, such as cheapen tears. This is not for profaner ears, let them drink molten pearls, that dream the cost. Some sucker poison from a source core, as naught but nightshade grew upon earth's ground. Love turned all his to heart's ease, and the more fate tried his bastions, she but forced the door leading to sweeter manhood and more sound. Even as the wind-waved fountain's swaying shade seems of mixed rays, a grey wave shot of sun, so through his trial faith translucent rayed, till darkness, half disnatured so, betrayed the heart of sunshine that would fain o'errun. Surely of skill and song the shears may stay, and of its purpose cheat the charmed abyss. If our poor life be lengthened by the lay, he shall not go, or while his presence may, and the next age, in praise shall doubtless. Long days be his, and each, as lusty sweet as gracious natures, find his home to be. May age steal on with softly cadenced feet, falling in music, as for him were meet, whose choicest verses harsher toned than he. To the Evening Star, by James Russell Lowell. When I have once said lowly, Evening Star, words give no more, for in thy silver pride a shine as the snowed else can shine beside. The thick smoke coiling round the sooty bar forever, and the customed lamplight mar the stillness of my thought, seeing things glide so samely. And I open my windows wide, and gaze in peace wherever shines the far. The wind that comes across the faint white snow, so freshly, and the river dimly seen, seem like new things that never had been so before. And thou bright as thou hast been, since thou might raise but sweetness in the eyes of the first souls that laughed in paradise. To the Memory of Hood, by James Russell Lowell. Another sun each time's horizon dropped to gleam o'er unknown lands and seas. Another heart that beat for freedom stopped, what mournful words are these? Our love divine, we clasp our tired earth, and lulls it upon the heart. Thou knowest how much a gentle soul is worth to teach man what thou art. This was a spirit that to all thy poor was kind as slumber after pain. I hope so soon the heaven deep quiets door, and call them home again. Freedom needs all the poets, and this way who give aspiration wings, and to the wiser love music's way her wild imaginings. And thou hast called him, nor art thou unkind, or love divine, or 'tis thy will, with gracious natures leave the love behind, to work for freedom still. Let Lord marbles weigh on other tombs, let anthems peal for our dead, rustling the banner depth of minster glooms with their exulting sprit. His epitaph shall mock the short-lived stone, nor legion shall its lines efface. He needs these few and simple lines alone to mark his resting place. Here lies a poet. Stranger, if to thee his claim to memory be obscure, if thou wouldst learn how truly great who is he, go, ask it of the poor. To the Past, by James Russell Lowell. Wondrous and awful are thy silent halls, O kingdom of the past, like the bygone ages and their palls guarded by shadows vast, where all is hushed and breathless, save when some image of old era falls, of worshipped once as deathless. Where sits true Egypt, might glittering sands, half woman and half beast, the burnt out torch with the mouldering hands, and once not all the east. And dotted bleared and hoary, where Asa crouched over blackened brands of Asia's long-quenched glory. Still has a city buried neath the sea, where courts and temples stand, idle as forms on wind-waved tapestry, or saints and heroes crowned. Where phantasms grope and shither, or watch the loose shores crumbling silently into time's gnawing river. Titanic shapes with faces blank or dun, where old god headlong gaze on the embers of a sunken sun, which were missteamed for more, and yet the eternal soul in their unmonarched eyes says day is done without the hope of more. A realm of silence and of sword eclipse, the shapes that haunt their gloom make signs to us and move their withered lips across the gulf of doom, and all their sound and motion bring no more fright to us than waves of ships on the mirage ocean. And if sometimes the moaning wandereth from outward desolate halls, as some grim shadow of the living death across our sunshine falls and sakes the world to error, eternal life sends forth melodious breath to chase the misty terror. The mighty clamours, wars and world noise deeds are silent on dust, gone like a tremble of huddling rest beneath some sudden gust. The forms and creeds have vanished, tossed out to wither like unsightly weeds, from world's garden banished. Whatever of true life there was and we leaps in our age's veins, we yield still the bend and wrinkled empery, and shake thine idle chains, to weave thy drosses clinching, for us the Mephraists die, the prophets see, the poets still are singing. Here mid the bleak waves of our strife and care, flutter green fortune isles, where all by hero spirits dwell and spare our method doms and toils. The present moves attended, with all of brave and excellent and fair, that made the old time splendid. To the Spirit of Keats, by James Russell Lowell. Great soul, thou sittest with me in my room, uplifting me with thy vast, quiet eyes, on whose full orbs with kindly lustre lies the twilight warmth of ruddy amber gloom. By clear, strong tones will oft bring sudden bloom of hope secure to him who lonely cries, wrestling with the young poet's agonies, neglecting scorn which seems certain doom. Yes, the few words which, like great thunder-drops, our large heart down to earth shook doubtfully, thrilled by the inward lightning of its might, serene and pure, like gushing joy of light, shall track the eternal chance of destiny after the moonlit pulse of ocean stops. To Whittier on his 75th birthday, by James Russell Lowell. New England's poet, rich in laugh's years, her hills and valleys praise thee, her swift brooks dance in thy verse. So her grave sylvan nooks, thy steep allure us, which the wood thrush hears, as mates to lovers, and their treason fears. For we, her merry maids and azure rocks, and many a name uncough when gracious looks, sweetly familiar to both England's ears, peaceful by birthright as a virgin lake, the lilies' anchorage, which no eyes behold, save those of stars, yet for the brother's sake, that lay in bonds, the blues the blasters bold, as that the wilful heart of road and break, far heard across the new world and the old. Trial, by James Russell Lowell. Whether the idle prisoner through his grate watches the waving of the grass tuft small, which having colonized its rifted ivy wall, takes its free risk of good or evil fate, or the sky's just helmet draws its lot daily of shower, sunshine, cold or hot, where the closer kept of creed cocked up from birth to grind our endless chaff, sees through his treadmill bars when noonday laugh, and feels in vain its crumpled pinions breed, whether the Georgian slave look up and mark, the bailing sails pass full, the tall cloud bark sink northward slowly. Thou only seemst good, Fair only thou, O freedom, whose desire can light in muddiest souls quick seeds of fire, and strain life's chords to the old heroic mood. Yet are there other gifts more fair than wine, nor can I count him happiest who has never been forced with his own hand his chains to sever, and for himself find out the way divine. He never knew the aspire's glorious pains, he never earned the struggle's priceless gains. Block by block, with saw and sharp endeavor, lifelong we build with human natures up into a temple fit for freedom's shrine, and trial ever consecrates the cup wherefrom we pour her sacrificial wine. Wendell Phillips by James Russell Lowell. He stood upon the world's broad threshold, wide within of battle and of slaughter rose. He saw God stand upon the weaker side, and sink in seeming loss before its foes. Many were the who made great haste and sold into the cunning enemy their swords. He scorned the gifts of fame and power and gold, and underneath the soft and flowing words heard the gold serpent hiss, "Before you went," and humbly joined him to the weaker part, fanatic named, and fool yet well content, so could be they near to God's heart, and feel its solemn pulses sending blood through the widespread veins of endless good. The Suppressed Flower by James Russell Lowell. This little flower from afar hath come from other lands to wine, for once its white and dropping star could see its shadow in the Rhine. Perchance some fair-haired German maid hath plucked one from the self-same stalk, and numbered over, half afraid, its petals in an evening walk. Alas me not, she cries, he loves me more than earth or heaven, and when glad tears have filled her eyes, to find the number was uneven. And thou must count its petals well, because it is a gift for me, and the last one of all shall tell something I've often told to thee. But here at home, where we were born, we will find flowers just as true, down-bending every summer morn the freshness of New England dew. For nature, ever kind to love, hath granted them the same sweet ton, whether with German skies above, or here or granite rocks among.